What's up, Knights? Xantos here. We've had some recent rebalancing in game, and one of my absolute favorite heroes has had a phenomenal change. Griz's full star perk has switched from boosting beast minion damage in arena to the very welcome new 30% critical chance boost on all of his hero powers. This setup here was already my main PvP go-to for arena, and to see it get such a huge upgrade was very satisfying. We run with the Valiant Gauntlet in these examples for warrior hero power speed, alongside Krita for her ability to expose on base and give us those juicy rage gains needed to launch Griz's Crossfire in 4 actions. I'll be fighting at various levels of hunter hero power in our video today, starting from lowest to highest. Currently our main build, we have 100% on our shoulders, 125% on our arms, and lastly 125% again on our boots, giving us 350% total with this initial setup. Another important charm to note is our exposed success rate in our helmet. We have a 60% boost to its chances of landing, and that's a very important part to the combo. Griz's rage is strong versus exposed, so making sure it lands is essential to put up numbers. This footage is being taken from the Conqueror League, and I feel like it will be important to also note that this is day 1 of the switch to heroes. Saying hello to Emilios for round 1 here, we get a good look at how it handles the Krita Ermis setup. We run a 100% chance to protect on chain start with our weapon, clutching giving us 35% boosted defenses whenever we start our actions with a swing from it. This build focuses a kill on the final action of our second turn, so it's clutch and shutting down opponents before they have an opportunity to make a play. With 2 swings from our weapon on turn 2, Krita's base becomes available, shooting us up to full rage while simultaneously exposing the field. This puts us in prime position to launch Griz's Crossfire, and I was astounded to see that we hit for a whopping 324k. These were my very first fights in arena since the change to Griz, and you could tell that I was excited to get back in and see just how high we could go with our damage if we got a high roll. Before the switch, my Griz would hit from around 187 to 225k damage on a rage, with a crit looking in the range of around 300k at 350% hero power. And to see him putting up those same numbers now without crits is just absolutely astounding. We hit for a big 303k here again to direct health on the night. Now, I was loving seeing the numbers we were putting up here, so I decided to take off my mythic chest and drop our health stat for an extra 80% hunter hero power damage. With this, we're sitting at 430% boosted total to hunter, and I was stoked to jump back in. It's nice to see that the hunter class is still being tweaked to be just as competitive as other classes. Griz was already my meta for arena, and having that boosted is just very nice to see. With these changes, the minion build that had been growing in popularity in wars will need to be rethought, but I'm honestly excited to see just how many doors open with heroes from this rebalancing, and with this the door opens to further changes to heroes as well in the future. Tossing the expose and another crossfire from Griz, we hit for our highest damage yet at 364k. I also found that rage really odd because our crit on the minion actually hits for less damage than our rage itself that didn't crit. No complaints. Moving on. With the effectiveness of this build, I feel like we're going to see a surge of exposed resistant charms becoming more viable in arena situations. While Griz hits like a truck when the enemy is exposed, his damage often isn't sufficient if the exposed does not land, and you'll find yourself scrambling for a turn 4 win in arena, and oftentimes in the higher leagues, you need to focus that quick kill. You can also see just how much damage scales on a rage in this situation. Even with us at 430% and the opponent singled out, we actually hit for our lowest damage yet of 297k. I really wanted to see the crit factor come into play on our opponent, and that rage being under 300k made me decide to go with our glass cannon hunter build. We tossed off our armor and go up another 60%, putting us up to our highest hero power damage output at 490%. Now, this build is not at all ideal in my opinion, but with the new change, we wanted to see those numbers, baby. And even still, with it, it's still very difficult for a knight to take us out in only 4 actions. At 490%, we break into a new damage threshold and hit for our highest numbers yet at 410k damage on the knight and 591k to the minion. No crits. Direly eager to see just how high our damage potential could go, I really wanted to see that 30% crit factor come into play on the knight. We went and grabbed another 5 tickets from our weekly tasks and got ready to hop back in. Now, I slowed this match down due to the fact that a huge flaw with this combo presents itself during this matchup. We start as we regularly do and protect up with our weapon. The knight follows suit with his 4 actions. Now, this is where the problem arises. As you can see, when we use Krita's base power here, the exposed does not land on the knight himself, and it results in our rage hitting for only 212k. Now, this knight hung on with a sliver of health, and our old friend Scald is able to wrap things up for us, but I could see if a knight was using a high health exposed resistance set in arena, how things could be a bit more problematic for this combo. Out of our 6 arena fights so far, we still haven't had the crit against the knight themselves we've been looking for. I speed up these next few just because the combo remains fairly consistent throughout, but I slow things down for Griz's Crossfire each time just so we can check out the damage potential. A nice 339k there. Still no crit though against the knight. Even still, we're hitting for a consistent 300 to 400k with our setups, and I was having a blast raining Crossfire with Griz. Arena ticket number 7, and we're hit with the odd 364k no crit on knight and 362k crit on minion. Still, crazy numbers, just also strange to see that the crit is lower than the base damage rage. No complaints. Now, arena ticket number 8, and I was sweating that I wasn't going to get the fight that I wanted for this video. I was honestly hoping for more crits against the knight themselves, just due to the fact that the minions are probably going to die from a rage, crit or no crit. Nonetheless, the damage potential is still nice to see, and I'm considering level 70 coming soon. In this fight, we finally get to see what I wanted, and we hit for our highest numbers yet with 423k crit directly to the knight. Was so happy to see that we finally landed it for the video, and as I mentioned earlier, this is day 1 of testing and my first 10 tickets, so I'm sure with more plotting and development in the future, I might be able to come up with a few more tricks as well. Finishing off the video today with our good friend Coffee popping up in Arena. I want to give a big thank you to everyone tuning into these Arena builds. I'm having a lot of fun testing the changes, and we might even be seeing more from Coffee very soon again for some help in our videos. We're going to be focusing a few more of the heroes that have been rebalanced in future content, and I'm excited to dive into the Dark Portal upon release with all of you. Thank you again to everyone for tuning in to see me rain Crossfire today. As always, we appreciate the love and support we've been getting here on the channel. If you can, please like and subscribe. The support is always welcome. Much love, everyone, and as always, knights, stay grinding.